who've been slightly disappointed with their performances so far. They've got their Olympic champions to come in the heavier classes. But in fact, it's not Kutlik. It's the Greek lifter, Iraklis Psomiadis. Iraklis in Greek means Hercules, and that's what Yakovu always asks of this man. Show me that you're Hercules. He's stronger in the clean and jerk. The snatch is the weaker of the two phases for him. Having said that, David, he's just produced a personal best of 160 kilos. That's a 7.5 kilo improvement.
How old is he? I don't actually ever remember seeing him in it.
20 years of age, from Kavala. And we are beginning to see now, as we've seen in the women's division, the emergence of the new generation of Greek lifters. You know, we've been wondering for a year or two, you know, who was likely to replace the likes of Dimas and Kakashvillis when the day comes. And that day is obviously going to be after the Olympics in Athens. And it does seem as if that new generation is beginning to emerge. You know, the young girl who got the bronze medal this afternoon, Ionidi, I mean, she was born in Russia, in fact, but moved to Greece when she was 5 years of age. And that was a real breakthrough for her. And there's the Iranian getting his first lift, 160 kilos. As I said, the Iranians haven't had much fortune so far, but I think things could change now. Second in the Asian Games, this man, at Busan. He snatched 167.5 kilos there, so this is a fair start. Just a couple of steps forward to establish himself under the bar. And already, David, you can see that there's a lot of activity back there. This is going to be quite a hard class for these men to keep on top of. When you look at it in terms of totals, I mentioned Azanidze with the 390, but you've got Panizvan with 380, Rudkovsky with 380, Suli with 380, Zlatan Vanev with 380, and Valerio Calanchea of Romania with 380. And still worth remembering that there's a Chinaman in the clubhouse with 370 on the board. So if people start making mistakes and a bit of nervousness starts to creep in and the tactics are messed up, stranger things have happened. But Kutling now to lift out in the snatch phase. Not really a threat, and 162.5 kilos. I'm just looking at the B group. Well, two men, well, hang on, more than that. Well, four men have actually lifted more weight than this anyway.
Yeah, it's a shame that the Chinaman wasn't in this class. It would have been nice to see him lifting along. He snatched 170 kilos, so we're nowhere near that yet.
Is he out? Yeah, he is out of time. Yeah, he's out of time. And he was almost out of time on the second lift. And really, you've got to say, David, that's pretty inexcusable. I mean, he's got a clock right to his left-hand side there. Got coaches out in the wings. mean, Slovakia may not be far from Poland, but you still don't come all that distance to run out of time. So the leader is Huan Ayun of China with 170 kilos from earlier in the day, but things will change. And Novikov, the first of the two Russians, and 165 kilos on the bar. So he's coming out on his personal best mark, and that is half kilos more than he achieved in the Europeans this year. But he did well in the Europeans, finished fourth overall, but he did manage to complete all 6 lifts.
And just to look at Van Ev in the background there. Got the man on stage, Ruslan Belarus. As you say, David, coming in right on his personal best. Remember, these men weigh 85 kilos and under, which is just a shade over 13 stone.
Yeah, just let me emphasise that, in case I got that wrong, that he in fact is from Belarus and not Russia. But he put that in exactly the right place.
Yes, considering that's coming in right in his PB, he's obviously done some improving since we last saw him.
Well, at 23, this is the time at this sort of weight category, David, that you expect him to start making serious improvements. If he wants to really challenge for the very, very top honours, now's the time when he's got to start to make a difference. And of course, he's got good company in the sense that his teammate, Alexander Anishenko, who was bronze medalist in the Europeans, is exactly the same age. So 2 of them vying for supremacy will always be good because they'll be pushing each other. Now here comes Van Ev. He openly has admitted that he's not yet comfortable having moved up from 77 to 85 kilos. But he's put, and yes, that'll be all right.
He's not known for his strength in the snatch, but if I had to put some money on somebody today or this evening, I think it would be this man, because he's very, very strong in the second part of the competition, and he'll be just wanting to stay as close as he possibly can to the others in the snatch phase.
The other thing is, David, he knows how to win. Twice he's been a world champion, twice he's been a European champion, and that counts for a lot, well, particularly in this nip and tuck situation when you're trying to judge which ones you should go for. The likes of Van Ev and his team are very experienced, and they should get it right. I mean, having said that, Abajiev's not around any longer, but Van Ev's got enough experience, he's wise enough. But you've got to have a good coaching team, because you can't have your eyes everywhere on this sort of field. Now, Calancia from Romania. Again, early 20s. Well, that was excellent. 5th in the world a year ago. What do you think?
It's good. He's got age on his side, good technique.
And here comes Hercules. Second in this year's Junior World Championships. But the best in Europe at the junior levels this year. Took that junior European title. And when he was second at the Junior Worlds at the end of June, he was actually snatching 152.5 kilos. Put that together with 187.5 kilos in the clean and jerk, 340 total. And he is moving fast, I think. 45 seconds.
definitely better than the first attempt.
Well, this is an impressive start by him because he's really piling on the kilos now. 165 kilos. I mean, that's 12 and a half up on his world performance. So now Pansvan. Now this would be better than, I'm just checking, no, it wouldn't be quite as good as yet as he produced in the Asian Games. Lost that title out to Song of Korea. Song had 372 and a half, Pansvan total 367 and a half, and he's looking for a total of 380 today. He might well have to do that if he wants to be on the championship podium. This is better. This is much better. But still the man from the B group, Huan Aiyun of China, leads the field. But the champion of the world, as I need to say, yet to start. And also Ritkovsky. So now the crowd can get behind their man. Comes from Minsk. Now, before you say Minsk isn't in Poland, it's the capital of Belarus. This is a different Minsk. This is the one that's 50 kilometers to the west of Warsaw. Second in Europe this year. 6 good lifts. Capable of at least 172 and a half. It's difficult to shut out the pressure, isn't it, David, on your home platform? But that's what he's got to do.
Yes, he's got the biggest crowd here this evening to watch him.
First lift for the Albanian, Iljan Sulik. 5th in the Olympic Games, but then he was lifting in the 77 kilo class, so he's another man who's moved up, so you'd be expecting better things from him around this time.
The best snatch of the day for my money. Yes, he was the athlete that made some huge strides forward in the 77 kilo class. I think he put something like 40 kilos on his total in 6 months. And now moving up to the 85 and looking good for it.
They got a European bronze medal in the Olympic year. Didn't do so well in the Games, was 5th, but that was pretty fair.
So Vanev taking the minimum jump in the snatch, which is what we thought he'd do, because we know that his strength is in the clean and jerk. So he's really just trying to get out every last 2.5 kilos that he can, not taking any risks.
Keeping tabs on the field is really what he's going to do. He knows that the likes of Azanidze are going to come out and don't do anything daft. They are going to overtake it. But what he's here doing is a bit of early damage limitation.
Yes, and Vanev, of course, the man who dislocated his elbow and then managed to come back in a very short period of time. 6
months later to take the world's. In 1998, that was in Lahti, having dislocated it in Riza. Now Ritkovsky really needs to get this. It'll give him huge confidence if he can do this well, do this correctly. Just relax a little bit after this, and things maybe will flow, but this is tough.
Zdecydowanie, Mariusz.
Yes, that's what we wanted. We wanted the good lift, and the crowd have been rewarded, and maybe now things will start to move for him. Still not easy because he's going to be catching up, and he's got a decision to make as to how many kilos now he puts on the bar to get himself back to where he wanted to be. He's got a PB of 172.5, David, so I think he'll take an extra 5 kilos. But he doesn't have to decide that at this particular moment. But the bar is going up to 170 kilos. And it'll be the senior man of the finalists next to come out, and that's the Russian Aslanbek Ediev from the SKA club. Very interesting, Habirova talking after her success earlier today, saying that the first thing she always wanted to do was to beat Popova, which she did in the competition up near the Arctic Circle. More than beating the Chinese or anything like that, she wanted to beat Popova, and now that she's world champion, you know, that everything's perfect now, really. And she's light. So like Vanev in this competition, theoretically she should get stronger and stronger. Well, that looked pretty good.
Yes, that's certainly the best I've seen this man. Hasn't been the most consistent of lifters in the past, but opens up there with a very good 170. Nice positioning. Nice deep squat. Bar in exactly the right place overhead.
So a very purposeful looking Novikov. 5 kilo increase.
Поближе к себе, Руслан.
84 kilos, 34. Lighter than the Chinaman from the B group, Yun Ayun. So this for the outright lead.
And a personal best.
So Novikov to the top of the tree. One Ayun of China in second place. And now Calancia of Romania also on 170. And incidentally, also exactly the same body weight, David, as Novikov. Half-minute buzzer, we've just heard in the background there. Well, arms right out at the extremities of the bar, but that was a good snatch. So he effectively moves up to have a joint share of the lead on 170 kilos. Ayun of China in third place. He's heavier than the front two at the moment, but still a lot of lifting to go. Azanidze, defending champion, yet to begin. Suli of Albania with 2 lifts to come. Ediev of Russia with 2. With Kowski and Vanev still with one each.
This massive personal best.
84 kilos 35. He's on exactly the same body weight, David, as the men who are currently in the lead. So there's to be 3 men on the same body weight with the same kilos. As he said, no, thought he was just about to save the day. So he's left on 165 kilos, but as you rightly said, that's still a 12.5 kilo improvement on anything he's done before in competition. And so, although he'd be disappointed, he shouldn't be too sad. Only 20. Problem is, if you're a member of the Greek team, expectations are always high, however inexperienced you might be. Now this man's been around for a bit longer. Now, this will be a personal best for him by 2.5 kilos. 84 kilos 90, so heavy, and in fact if he does this it will only put him into 5th place, but just at this moment he's in 12th place and he stays 12th. And I say 12th because that's relating his position to all of the performances to date so far in the A group and all of those who lifted earlier in the B and C divisions of this 85 kilo championship. Now Vanev, 170 kilos. We will not know how important this is really, David, until we get into the clean and jerk, but with his light body weight this could be significant. And Vanev in the lighter class, well, he's never lifted more than 165 in the snatch. Not clear in his mind, and consequently loses the opportunity. And now Vanev, 167.5 kilos. He can go away and prepare for the clean and jerk, David, but he's going to have to wait 10 minutes or so to find out how much more he's going to have to produce in the second phase. So here comes the world and European champion, George Azanidze. He's been European champion for the past 3 seasons and won the world title last year in Antalya. 172 kilos for his opener. Interesting sort of self-explanation there. It didn't position the bar, and his body was completely out of position.
I'm sure Vanev will be looking at that lift and hoping that he misses it again.
Yeah, we've all seen Azanidze miss the odd lift, but he does have a habit of coming back, so I wouldn't write him off because of just that. Now, Suli of Albania.
for my money on the snatch. Sully. He started on 167.5. In terms of the snatch, he's looked very, very competent.
Seven and a half kilos more than he's lifted before. And Sully goes to the top of the table, 84 kilos 65. But lifting the weight means that he's not in a body weight race, not at this moment anyway. So Azanidze already on the stage as you see Sully marching off with 48 seconds in which to try and correct his opening error. Azanidze now 27 years of age. I mentioned the world title and the European titles, also working with the Olympic bronze medalist from Sydney.
Of course, Sully is lighter. So, although Azanidze puts that one away, he's still only in second place.
Yes, but he's now got himself back into an attacking position. And a huge roar for Mariusz Rytkowski. Well, this is right on his personal best.
Yes, and he's lighter than both of the two men that have already succeeded. So, although this is his final attempt, it would, for the time being anyway, put him in the lead by virtue of lighter body weight.
Zdecydowanie, Mariusz.
Good lift. And now he's in the groove. The first one was nervous. The second one was a sigh of relief. Now he's motoring. He can't do any more at the moment, but the confidence will be flowing now. He's got 172.5 kilos. And I have the feeling, David, that although he's not going to probably win this, that no one's going to get that far away from him, which is really important if he wants to continue the attack in the second pass.
So the man from Belarus, he's also lighter than everybody who's lifted this weight, so a success on his third and final lift will also put him into the lead.
Yes, he's one of the several on 84 kilos 35, currently in fourth place. Well, did the feet ever stop moving? 2-1. I don't think his feet were ever stationary and in line, but he's got away with it.
And of course takes the lead.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now, but you have a look at this, David. Did he ever stop? Well, couldn't really tell from that, but benefit of the doubt, he's got away with it. He certainly lifted the bar well enough over his head, and that's the most essential requirement.
Interesting watching the coach there. He was actually doing the lift with him.
But 84 kilo 35 man, Calancia of Romania. And this, of course, his final attempt. And we're looking at, again, another...
Of course, if he does this, he won't go into the lead because...
He didn't get there first.
The number in the draw.
Seconds.
Well, doesn't make any difference.
If you look at the field, David, I mean, we've got Ediev of Russia with 2 to come. We've got Suli with 1 and Azanidze with 1. And 172.5 kilos at the moment for every one of the top 4, and then the 3 men on 170 kilos. It's very, very close. Nobody, David, is going to get far away. So this is all going to go into the
great for Vanev.
Yeah, it is. But Sully now to try and take the championship with 175. If he gets it, he'll have to withstand challenges from Azanidze, but Azanidze is heavier, and so is Ediev. So this could be the snatch lift to take the gold medal. In fact, rather than Suli there, so Suli still has the chance to take the championship. Apologies, I think I created the confusion there because Suli was originally posted to come out and it switched round. So Ediev ends on 170, and now we've got Suli to come out for exactly the same weight, 175. So what that means, David, is, and this time I can get it right, that if he does lift this, then Azanidze's got a choice to make. Does he go to 177.5 to try and take the gold medal, and obviously have an advantage going into the clean and jerk phase? And if he wants 177.5, well, he's going to have to do better than he did in Europe, but not quite as well as he did in last year's World Championship. But Suli is solid.
Look at that. That was the best snatch he's done today. And one wonders if he was given a couple more attempts, if he couldn't even take it further.
Yeah, tremendous speed.
Very fast, everything in the right place. It was just looked easy. So, the man with the improvement.
Yeah, well, real confidence. Of course, he did move up after Sydney, so unlike Vanev, he's had more time to accustom himself to it, to grow his strength. But Ediev to try it again, but even if he gets this, David, it's only going to put him into second place. And it doesn't do that, and Ediev is left down in 7th place in the ranking. And just to mention that Yuan Ayun of China from the B division is currently 6th and will not be worse than that. So that's a tremendous effort by the Chinese lifter from earlier in the day. So now 177.5 to take the gold medal in the snatch, and importantly to give himself a 2.5 kilo advantage over Suli, a 5 kilo advantage over Novikov and Ritkovsky, and a 7.5 kilo advantage over Kalanseya, Ayun, Ediev. So again, we won't know, David, how valuable lifting this and how significant it might be if he doesn't lift it until probably the closing stages of the clean and jerk. $15 seconds. Very quick again, and that's world class. That is world class. And he takes the gold medal, really determined, not going to let Suli upstart him and take his title away. Real determination there by the champion, and at the halfway stage, after a somewhat unpromising beginning, he leads the field by 2.5 kilos. That's the difference between him and Ilya Suli of Albania, with then Novikov and Ricky of Belarus and Poland respectively 5 kilos down. Well, it's close, but it hasn't yet quite caught fire, David. Maybe it will in the clean and jerk.
I'm sure it will in the clean and jerk. Can Vanev make up a 10-kilo deficit? Time will tell.
Well, we've seen him make some pretty extravagant attempts in our time. I think it just really depends on the first clean and jerk that he gets in. I think he's got to try and reduce that deficit significantly by half if he can on the first lift. But there it is, the champion has the advantage, not a huge one. Suli, solid snatch efforts, 3 out of 3. Novikov, 3 out of 3. Good recovery after the hiccup early on, and he's not out of this either. And the Polish fans know